All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back, Slim Bones. I am Devo here for another one. So, gentlemen, we're getting deeper and deeper into the offseason here, right? And since our last episode, not too much has happened. Rose extended the qualifying offers to both Ranger Suarez and Kyle Schwarber, which they both denied. That's a nothing burger there. No news. And also, we had the Rule 5 draft protections, right? Run through those guys. You had Andrew Painter, you had Gabriel Rincones, and Alex McFarland, the other minor league pitcher. So those are the kind of the running through the main things that's happened in the last week or so. Before we jump into identifying who we think the Phillies' top trade piece is, how we guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. As always, yesterday we were celebrating our birthday. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me. Mm-hmm. And we are seeing this. Bones will also be joining the birthday club this week. So on my birthday, I watched a movie. I watched a Few Good Men because that's what Devo, Bones, and Slim are. We're a few good men right here. And here's the question for you. I'm going to do it Jeopardy style. All right. It's a little less Easter eggish, a little bit more Jeopardy inspiration style.
Okay.
Clue. This term from A Few Good Men was not invented for the movie. It was based on a real Marine Corps punishment practice known to troops at Guantanamo Bay. If you've seen the movie, you should know this right off the bat.
Code Red?
The Code Red, baby. Yeah, the Code Red. That's incredible.
It was a layup this week for our birthday.
Yeah.
What is Code Red?
What is Code Red? Right.
Apologies. That's a good one, though.
Yeah, well, it's a dark thing to think about, right?
It is.
Actually, going off the Chris page here with watching something, I came across Tubi. It's an app on TV.
Okay.
Dude, a lot of free stuff on there. Good movies, good shows, cartoons that we talked about before. Scooby-Doo, Bugs Bunny, all the good stuff.
The classics.
Yeah, go back and watch cartoons. Yeah. Going to go see if I can find Three Stooges after we get off of here, which we are, as long as with A Few Good Men.
That's right.
Well, the heavy hitter right now for all the historians is the Ken Burns American Revolution series has been airing. The first 3 episodes are on. I watch episode 1. Each episode's 2 hours, jam-packed. But yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
What's that on?
PBS.
PBS. So, Slim, we must have had a very similar past couple of days because I watched the first episode of that. And actually, not to break the fourth wall too much here, I've been getting really into the revolutionary theme. Friday night, the American Revolutionary Museum is doing a tavern day happy hour. So I don't know if you're doing anything. Maybe you can tag along. I'm going there on Friday, but let's not get too deep in doxing our plans. But let's actually talk some Phillies baseball for the first time tonight. So last episode, we basically all agreed that the Phillies are not going to be signing the top, tier free agents, right? So we all agreed that it looks like we're going to be pointing our direction towards trading players. So, gentlemen, out of our major league club, who do you think the rest of the league perceives as the top trade pieces? Slim, who do you got?
Our top trade piece, who I think is going to be on the move, or at least most likely, is going to be Matt Strahm. Because he's a reliever. He has value for every single team. You can never, there's never not enough of those. Besides that, when you go down the order, the players that Phillies have either have tough contracts or they're not super duper attractive for other teams.
Right.
So I can't wait to hear what you guys say. I know my answer is not anything gorgeous, but I'm also going to give myself kudos because I brought him up as a trade piece about a month ago too.
Yeah, you were early on that, 100%.
Yeah. So for me, it's got to be Alec Bohm. I mean, he's a corner infielder, so he can play both third and first. We talked about how much he's grown defensively since that whole debacle that 1 year where he hates his effing place.
Right.
And he just keeps on getting better and better there defensively. Offensively, not hitting for power, but we're going into a contract year where this would be the last year before he's a free agent
Right.
and all that stuff. And we all know what happens when guys are in last year of contracts. For some reason, they just like to do really well.
Yeah. Money
And
talks.
that would be good for other teams. I think the Phillies can get some value back
Right.
in other places that they need help. Bullpen, maybe another starter somewhere, or an outfielder.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So those two guys were two guys that I considered, and I had a feeling we were going to talk about that. And also, they're for different reasons. They're underappreciated in a lot of ways. Bohm, lifetime's like 280 hitter, right? So you know what I mean. He's improved his defense, but I feel like a lot of the real diehard Phillies fans just can't get the off the field stuff out of their memory. So he doesn't get appreciated for that. And the Strom, it's more of a what have you done for me lately scenario. If you look at his numbers, they're pretty damn good, right? He doesn't throw 101 miles per hour, but he gets outs. His ERA is always where you want it to be for a reliever. I think you guys might be onto something because what we're going to get in returns probably not going to be a lot for either of those guys.
So the first thing is, all right, can you put them together for something, right? I don't
Sure.
think that really I don't know what that return is really going to look like. But then, like you said, career years happen. If I was comparing Bohm to Strom and looking at the back of their baseball cards, I would have to disagree with Bohm just a little bit because Bohm has been slightly disappointing, right? Even though he's getting on base more, doing that, whatever. He's been disappointing. And I think the Bohm experiment is kind of over.
He might lose value if he's not playing well, and then we can't get rid of him.
Right.
But he's going to be put in a pretty good position. So his floor should be pretty solid. And his defense has been solid. So
No, but right now we don't know that what position he's going to be in, especially in a batting order type thing. We don't know the status of Schwarber, who else we're bringing in, and stuff like that.
the question would be, why would anyone trade for Bohm unless they thought they were going to extend him? Because he's going to be, I think he'll probably be in a very similar position that he was in last year. If the dominoes fall the way, if we get Schwarber back.
So I hear what you're saying there on the extension piece. I think anytime you're giving up something for an expiring guy, you have that mindset. But also, I feel like the Bohm trade, it's a team that is acknowledging the fact that it's almost he needs a new environment, right? And someone trying to find a home for that. And they're thinking, okay, I might be able to give up not that much because of the circumstance. If they don't invest a lot in the trade, they're not going to feel as obligated to sign him.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And then I think he'll love to be a free agent and see where he ends up.
Yeah, and I don't think he's not going to command tons of money here. I don't think he's going to get $100 million contract.
No.
He's just not. You don't have the power for that. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. But
So this might be like a smaller market team, young team, uh, that's maybe just looking for a couple pieces to get over hump. Maybe I haven't looked at the roster, but maybe like a Kansas City Royals type team, or an Orioles team. They just made a trade last night for Taylor Ward, stuff like that.
unless we sign a third baseman, are you guys okay with Sosa playing third base? Or if we trade Bohm, you're expecting to have someone else in the mix there.
Somebody else would be in the mix there.
Otto Kemp's the first name that jumps in mind. If you're just strictly having the in-house conversation, I don't love him there, obviously, because he's not
Right.
a great.
You want to see him play there every day.
No,
that wouldn't happen. Yeah, exactly. Otto Kemp, his strength is the utility guy. Not
Right.
that he's great anywhere, but he can be plugged in somewhere, and then hopefully he can hit.
Which leads me to my two names that I picked here. Otto Kemp and Bryson Stott were two that jumped in my mind. Number one, Otto Kemp's 26 years old. He's got 6 more years of control you're getting with him. He's making 10 times less than Alec Boehm, right? But a team that's taking a flyer on a guy who played meaningful innings for a team that was, a top 3 team in baseball last year, right? Also, Dombrowski is going to be hamming up the fact that he was injured. So I think
right.
Otto Kemp, based upon the control, the contract, and the meaningful at-bats that he got for us last year, he's going to be a sexy trade piece. The other one is Bryson Stott. Not to the same extent, obviously, because Stott's making a little bit more money. He's expecting to make $6 million, but he's giving you 2 years control. He's a top, I'm just going to throw this number out here, top 5 defensive second baseman at least. And the second half, we talk about this a lot, the second half of last year was pretty darn good compared to the first half. So I think those two guys, as far as position players, might be the most attractive. Guys like Castellanos, you're not getting anything for him. We know that. What do you guys think about that?
So I think Stott is kind of hard to move due to the offense. And we even credit a lot of his success when it comes around to Kevin Long, right? So if he's on another team and he's not hitting, that's problematic. So I'm not sure what other teams think of him offensively. That's the one thing I would mention. Castellanos' $20 million contract is severely handicapping some of the stuff we would like to do here. That is the elephant in the room. Let's be honest,
Otto Kemp would be somebody you can put with Castellanos, maybe to try to spice up the deal a little bit for somebody to take him, take on at least some of the money that he's owed, and then we can use that money for, like, let's say half of it to fill that spot.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like we're moving guys who played a lot for us. In college basketball, they look at how many returning minutes, right? And, is coming back.
Sure.
And we're getting rid of dudes who were getting a lot of minutes last year, and we don't have exact names filling those roles for those minutes yet. So
I think one of the biggest struggles, and you're hearing this a lot getting reported, that the Phillies are really having an issue getting the ball rolling until they figure out what's going on with Schwarber and Realmuto, right? So it's almost like the moving parts aspect of this, and we talked about this in a prior episode. The outfield is the easiest area to improve in the sense of whoever you get, you just plug them somewhere because we have holes that are easy to fill. Now, finding that player, which we'll talk about a little bit, is harder. But the infield is difficult because if we get a third baseman, then it's like, okay, well, where are you putting Boehm? Where are you putting Stott? So that's where this becomes very challenging of the domino effect of all these moves.
So as a negotiator, right, because we all want Schwarber, we all want JT Realmuto.
Yeah.
People are claiming that the ball's in their court. The Phillies have a power play. If they set a date, right? If they say, here, this is the max we're going to give you, right? This is what it's going to look like. This is the best on the table. We love you. You love us. We need to know by, I'm not making this up,
right,
December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason this should go into Christmas, right? And I think if either negotiator should be able to make a deadline like that. So I saw the Christmas deadline, and then I saw people saying the ball's in Schwarber's court. I think the Phillies can take back control if they set a deadline. And then if it's not there, you make a move. Make a move.
Dombrowski's not real big on trading.
Right.
Like in the offseason. He's more of building through free agency, and the Phillies they're in a tough spot because
they already
got 2 guys with that they have on 10-year contracts. So say like Schwarber doesn't come back, there's like talk of maybe they could be on Kyle Tucker. That'd be a third guy they have with over 10 years.
Yeah, that's why the Tucker stuff to me is like crazy because we're worrying about a Schwarber bid race. Tucker's bid race is going to be the highest this offseason. So there's no way we will want to get in those negotiations.
Yeah, you guys see the reports that the Pirates are in on Schwarber?
Yeah, the pirate stuff honestly turns my stomach in knots.
Yeah, like I wonder how much of that's gamesmanship, like for the fan base, right? Like them just trying to make it seem like they're in on these players. There's the Josh Naylor report as well, right? That they went like I think 80 million up
Yeah,
to
how
that
much did he get?
92.
Okay, so they
Oh,
weren't far off.
yeah, they weren't too far off. Yeah, so that's respectable.
And Dombrowski, if he's the free agent market, we were looking at the numbers in the last episode. It gets high up there for pitchers. It gets high for all these players.
Yeah,
So that might not be the best place to find these guys anymore. We have talent in the farm system, which is
right.
unusual. We haven't had any talent pan out for us, especially sluggers or
Right.
position players recently. But it seems like at least we have some names now. I just don't think like Bones was saying I don't think Dombrowski should lean into trying to build through free agency this offseason.
And it doesn't seem like we are, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're signing the hometown guys, and then he looks like he's trying to make some trades without depleting our minor league system as much. That's been the report that the Phillies are trying
Did
to
you
move major league players for other major league players, which makes a lot of sense.
I'll throw one name out there. He got released today. Morel, the dude for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's under 30. He seems to be one of those low average guys with pop.
Yeah.
So I wonder, it sounds like he plays right field, first base, and DHs or left field.
Played a little
as
third.
well.
Yeah, he plays all over that too. Christopher Morel.
Chris, yeah, so that's a player that got released today who low key interested in.
If Chris didn't bring up Strahm, that was going to be my pick, just because of the amount of left-handers we have in the bullpen already, with Alvarado coming back, Chris's boy Banksy coming back.
Yeah.
This is somebody I think they can get that outfield help that we need. That can fill that spot, just because relievers are tough to come by in Major League Baseball. And always at the deadline, everybody's going for a reliever.
Right.
So if some team comes in looking to get Strahm to make themselves better, doesn't work out for them. Maybe he has a good year, but
Right.
their team doesn't work out for them. They're going to get more out of the trade in the midseason than they did right now for their team.
That's a really good point.
Prospects.
That's a really good point. I just want to clarify something. So when I say the best trade piece, I'm basically saying the best and most realistic, right? Because the reality is our best trade piece is Christopher Sanchez, right? A near Cy Young guy on a low contract, right? So like that would be the most valuable guy that, as far as other teams looking at him. The other thing is I didn't include guys like Alvarado because I think the Phillies want to hold on to him. Like I really do. So Matt Gell reported that the Phillies have been shopping around all three of our left-handed relievers, or I should say they're getting calls on them. Alvarado, I don't want to get rid of. I want to bring him back. And actually, Banks too, man. I thought he did great in his role.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the question, we're saying Strahm, right?
Yeah.
And the people on the other line, they're going to say what? They'd rather have Banks because he's like,
I don't know about that. I don't think he'd be viewed more favorably. Well, actually, maybe money wise, because
money wise, and then who knows? But it's a conversation.
Yeah, Strom's got a lot of meaningful innings that he's pitched, man, and teams value that.
He needs to get a meaningful haircut. I think for me, we gotta discuss the guys that the Rule 5 draft and some of the outfield situation, because we're looking in-house for third base if we end up moving a dude like Bohm. The outfield, I think, might be some in-house options again. We know all about Crawford. Crawford, he might deserve his own episode. But the sneaky guy sliding up, and I got the back of his last 3 years, is Ricoñez, right? We saw him smash last year. in the spring training. He smashed all during the year in AAA. He had 18 home runs, batted 240, and I think his OPS was the highest it's been in 3 years. So he's been pretty consistent, and that's a good sign. All that with Otto Kemp. We're seeing it with Raconez. I would take when we go down to Clearwater, Raconez is going to be our guy, right? He's going to. I think he's going to run it back, and I think he's going to make the major league roster.
Okay. Opening day
Roster. So I'm in.
I'm for like a bat off the bench, in place of Weston Wilson and Rojas. Right. But we can't use that guy as a starter and Crawford as a starter. Like,
no.
To me, coming up with them two off the right out of spring training as starting outfielders, and then in 2 weeks we're having the same conversation that we had last year with we need corner outfield help.
Right. No, but listen, Dombrowski said at his end of season press conference how highly the organization views Rinconez, and the fact that we protected him from the Rule 5 draft tells you A, that's true, or B, we view him as a piece for a trade, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't want a team to be able to grab him from the Rule 5 draft. The other thing is, have you seen his lefty splits? They are not pretty. Like he can't hit lefties at all. It's he's like batting like 100 against lefties. So he's really grading as a platoon player, which, by the way, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's worth noting.
Well, he'll come up. He'll get a taste of Kevin Long.
There you go.
We'll see what happens. The other outfielder we don't want to admit, but who's probably going to be back is Brandon Marsh, right? And he has the same issues with the left-handers. So Marsh, Raconez, Crawford, it may be their time to play in the outfield, and let's see what they look like the first few months of the year. Obviously, you can platoon them. We're going to have guys, Weston Wilson, other players that can be platooned out there with them. So it won't be all day, every day. But at first, because like I said, the Castellanos money does hurt. We might be looking at an outfield where Crawford and Raconez are getting 3 starts a week.
No way. Not Rinco. I can't see that, but we'll see. Hey, man, I didn't think Otto Kemp was going to be getting the love that he got this year, so we'll see.
If he's hitting again, because we don't there's no one clogging him. There's no Cody Clemens. Who are the other outfielders?
As of now, it's not pretty.
And then who do we want to sign? And I was surprised that he actually has decent stolen base numbers the last 3 years. So he seems like a guy that has solid speed. So, I'm going in on him. The other option, and we were so far out, and I'm still out, is the potential of, now that we know Ranger Suarez is gone, right? It seems like he's gone.
Right. Matt Gelb reported that the Phillies are not expected to bid on him.
But we're still down the Castellanos money. Mm-hmm. Does that move any needle with bringing Bader back? Just to have one solidified piece there, then you can have Marsh and all the other guys figuring the platooning left-handed situation out. Because here's the other thing. Mm-hmm. If we're not going to play Marsh that much, we got to trade him. I think we got to give him a full-time opportunity.
I think you got to trade Marsh. I completely agree.
So then he's the most likely Philly to be traded. Then it is Brandon Marsh. For better or worse, not saying we'll get much back, but it seems like, if we're trading him, the return's not going to be anything spectacular, in my opinion. So now, really, where are we? You're talking Crawford, center field, and who else?
Well, according to you, we're going to have Rinconez out there.
Yeah, Rinconez, yeah.
Here's a name to look at for a free agent outfielder, Lane Thomas.
Okay.
He was with Washington a couple years ago, got traded to the Guardians. Somebody the Phillies checked in on a couple years ago. Maybe he can work with Kevin Long. He was with him down in Washington.
Right.
Maybe it's something the Phillies can do, and maybe just both parties. It'll be something low, not like $10 million deal that Max Kepler got last year.
Wait, say that name one more time, Matt.
Gabe Kapler.
Hold on. Yeah,
Very nice.
we got a nice little soundboard now, so I've been
Nice.
waiting to find a moment to do that. I couldn't find an
Yeah.
actual app. Keep going. Saying that Brandon Marsh is most likely. Slim, you might have swayed me, man. Is he our top trade piece? Because he's got that 2 years of control as well. He could play all three positions in the outfield, right? He can move a little bit. Yeah, man, you might be right. You might be right because this outfield market, everyone is saying how it's just brutal. So trading him might be our top piece.
But I don't think we get any return. I don't know.
Well, the elephant in the room is that we want to trade major leaguers, but we're probably going to have to be bundling in minor leaguers for these.
Right.
That's the elephant in the room. Which I feel like this whole exercise that we're doing with this episode is really proving how that's the reality, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And well, like I said, if we don't move on, like from Marsh, these guys have to start, and we got to give them opportunities. So the reason I landed on Marsh as the very likely trade person is because he just won't get the opportunities here. You know,
Right.
I think he'll get
Versus a
plenty of
left-hander.
opportunity here. I just think
Yeah, I
his
don't know-
opportunity ran out.
versus lefties, because we're going to have to let him keep playing, trying to figure that out. And we might, like you said, we might have an entire outfield of people trying to figure out how to hit lefties again. And we've seen Marsh try to figure it out for years. Now we'll watch Crawford, Racoñez, and the new guys try to figure it out.
Yeah, the point with Marsh is, we were saying, Slim, is if we're going to squeeze any of that value out, any of that juice out, this is the time right now. We got a little bit more, a couple of more years left. He's coming off a pretty decent year. If we're going, but it's not a long-term fit. Right? The 2008 Phillies didn't have a Brandon Marsh on the team, right?
Yeah, Jason Worth, hair-wise.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the only thing they have in common is the hair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll put Marsh and Strahm.
Okay.
We'll ship them to the Yankees, and they get haircuts.
There you go.
And they got to clean up.
So speaking of the Yankees, did you see this whole qualifying offer frenzy? So this year is the largest, and this is to the point that Bones has been making. There's been 4 players that have selected qualifying offers. That's the most ever since that's been a thing in the big leagues. It's been like 15 years. And Trent Grisham for the Yankees is one of them. I'm glad he signed it because I did not want the Phillies to go after him. So he's going to be there for $22 million.
He's not a bad player.
Dude, take a look at his – he's batted under 200 like 3 or 4 times for a year.
Yeah, and he's only been up here 5 years. But he has some pop.
He's got some pop. Well,
and he plays some good defense.
Well, yeah, he plays good defense. I think he has a couple of Gold Gloves in his belt, right? But the advanced numbers were not positive on him this year. I know you don't care about that, but I'm just letting you know the trending of that's negative. The other thing is we're paying for the guy who basically doubled his home run total.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to be paying that guy off that, which I hate doing.
Yeah,
so
probably. Like the advanced numbers are probably say his home runs are probably take off 15 of them because they played at Yankee Stadium.
Correct. That's the biggest thing.
Where are we if we move on from Marsh, we don't get a big return? If the Schwarber and Romuto stuff drags on, you guys are still out on Bellinger to fill in that center field slot?
Yes.
You want to make it. You want to make him a plan B. What's the big plan B if we lose Schwarber?
That's a really good question. So I'm not as bearish on Bellinger as Bones is. I actually would be okay with Bellinger, to be honest. I think we could probably get him on a 4-year deal. So if you can get a 4-year deal done with him, not a 6 or a 7-year, because he's actually not as old as you think. He's like 30 years old. So he's still got, some years ahead of him. And like you said, he can play. He can play outfield. He can play a little bit of infield. So I love that. Yeah, I would not be disappointed with Bellinger. But Slim, to your point earlier, the Schwarber thing's interesting, right? Because this is how I think that's going to go. I want to hear where you guys are at on this. So right now, I'm sure the Phillies have a ceiling in their minds, right? They're going to say to themselves, look, we would pay if this becomes a bidding war, which I don't think they think it's going to, but if it does, they're saying, we would pay up to 35, whatever the number is, right? But now they're just waiting for Schwarber to go out there, and we'll see what type of market it is, right? They're going to know what type of real interest it is. If he's not getting real offers, why would we go to our ceiling? We'll say, you know what? We'll give you 30, right? We'll give you 29. Because you're going to take 29 from us if there's not a $35 million offer out there. So that's what's going on right now. And the same thing with Utah.
You don't think Boston or one of these other teams would be interested in, say, easily try to at least give them 30, like we said, that 30 for 4 years? I feel like I feel like we would be in on at that number. The Red Sox would be interested at that number. I don't know if the Reds would be interested in that number, but I think teams around the league would be interested.
Well, who had the report that's saying looks like the number is going to go north of 30?
I think that was Jeff Passan. Yeah. Jeff Passan said it's probably going to be north of 30. He said there is a market. He said, not to change gears, but just while we're on the Passan report, he also said that, which was very relevant to our last podcast, that Realmuto's most likely not going to get 3 years. He actually almost, which I thought this was a little bit wonky. He reported that like it was a fact. Did you notice that?
Yeah, like saying like Realmuto said he doesn't want more than a 2-year deal or something.
He didn't say Realmuto said that. He said that he's not going to get that, which I thought that was weird how absolute he made that. Like, I really didn't think that was the way he should have wrote that. But that's
and it seems like it's going to get hit on the head with the 15 million, 16 million number.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't see that. Have you seen that?
I'm projecting it.
Okay, projecting it. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, to that point, if we can get JT back for 2 years in that zone, that's great. But the Schwarber thing, I guess the point that I was getting at is we're in a great position because he wants to be here. That's such a, if we're in a great position for 2 reasons. Number one, we're willing to pay a lot of money, and he wants to be here. So we're basically we can just say, hey, go see what's out there. You come back to us and tell us what's out there. If it's not like he's going to be able to go say, oh, the Reds are offering me 33. They're going to know they're not, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's information everywhere.
Right.
I don't know, man. It would get real scary if he comes back with a number like 33.
Well, I said last week I would go to as high as 40 if we're going to keep it at 4 years. I'd rather do that than go 5.
That'd be nuts.
It seems like the highest number potentially would be 36 million. But like Devo said, why? I mean, I'm in the middle of every day. I'm ready to give him 36 million for 5 years, but then I have to come home, relax, and like listen to what Devo's saying. He has to go out there, get the numbers first, and bring them back.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Because let's create the alternative scenario. I always like to do extreme examples to make the point. Let's say there's literally not one other offer for Kyle Schwarber, right? Let's say there's not one other offer. So then what the Phillies are going to do is they're going to simply pay him based upon what they think he's worth for his value, right? So if that's $27 million, if it's $28 million, whatever that number is, that's where you pay him. Anything above that is the premium of the bidding war. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so why would we do, like, this is the best case scenario for us. The only thing that would be if we completely disrespected him with the low ball, which I don't think we're going to do.
Right, but we're planning for him to have suitors,
Right.
and then we'll hopefully the suitors come in at the same exact number or right below.
Right.
But we're looking at a premium number.
For sure.
He was just basically the second runner up for the MVP.
Can you imagine if we don't sign him?
If we don't sign him, I would be very excited to see what we're thinking going in, because it gives us a ton of flexibility.
Right.
Right. First off, I would like us to make a solid plan B. But if it was like disastrous scenario, I would be a little okay with how much money we have.
I think it's like growing. For me, it's growing to me that they're not going to sign him.
Really?
Like it's more than when it like was at the end of the year. I still think he's going to sign here, but it's more of a chance that he doesn't sign.
What I don't love is there's a lot of emotion in that deal, right? And I don't love that, especially for a long-term deal. As a fan, which we're all fans first, I want him back. I'm going to be excited no matter what the number is. But the fact that it seems like the organization is very much emotionally invested in him, that, to your point, Slim, does that hamstring us a little bit for the future?
I truly believe, but this is when I get like in the feelings, paying what he wants, because I think he's been playing his best baseball. His bat speed is still extraordinary. I know they say these sluggers, they fall off here, but I don't see it happening. He's not going to play the field. He's going to consistently be hitting 30 home runs at the minimum. He's going to hit 30 home runs. I think he's going to hit 500 home runs, and if he hits 500 home runs, he's a Hall of Famer, which is going to repay back the Phillies organization for decades. We're going to talk about every SWAR bomb ever. The four home run games, all that stuff.
All right, boys. Anything else? Let's close it down. We will be reporting back for the future. Go Phils, and we'll see you soon.